Hello, everybody. This is another philosophical talk, and this is not going to be your usual video. All right, and we're going to talk about entering the states of change through my experience. All right, it's weird because I'm going to talk about something that is going to sound very weird and strange. And how do I say this? To me, it touches a little bit on insanity because of what I'll be describing. Like, if I didn't believe in spiritualism and I met a person talking like how I'm going to talk, I would have been like, all right, I guess whatever they're selling out there is really good, something like that. But basically, it's going to be about visions and dreams. Now, I'm going to only talk about the vision first, and then maybe another video I'll talk about the dream, because they're kind of long. Every story is long. The first one, which is I believe was the initiation of the spiritual journey of change, okay? Because a lot of people, at least from what I've experienced, it's not a fast thing. It's very slow. It's very methodical. It's very calculated, and it's well placed, the change. So the vision initiates it, and then from the initiation of that vision or dream, there's a process that happens right before you get to the next stage, all right, of life. The vision is within your mind, so time works differently there. But when you wake up, you're going to unconsciously work towards that, towards the next phase, if you have gotten some form of vision like that, which I'm going to describe. So basically, the vision was, how do I say this? I was in a dark room, pitch black, but suddenly there was like a low amber glow, like fire, like a low light of fire. But on the ground was solid concrete, okay? Now, mind you, this is how do I explain it? This is a time and space, like this is in time and space, actual space, like outer space, all right? And you're in a room, but around you is outer space. So you're a floating room. Think of it like in a video game where the background is space and you're on a level, and this level is a closed box. Think of like PlayStation 1 era games where like each, like what's it, Oddworld. I don't know if you guys know that reference. That maybe show how old I am. Oddworld has like a scene of where the beginning of the room and the end of the room was like that, and you were in the middle of space there. Okay, done with that. And there was the low light coming out from the bottom, and to me that symbolized the fire was you. The concrete was what you had to go through to get to the vision, to that vision. Again, it might be similar, but this was my experience. And in the vision, you're encouraged to choose to stay away from the light or go down it. That was what was happening in my mind. And at the time, I was having a terrible time. I won't get into the details of it, but I was having a bad time. Anyways, so I decided to go into the light, which I didn't know was fire, which required me to phase through the ground. In doing so, I realized that me phasing through it, I couldn't control how fast or so. I couldn't control the phasing. Like, I just continued to phase through the concrete and down into the other room. Now, the other room, remember, we're still in space. The other room was a rectangular shape. So it was a scene of you falling. But you weren't falling, you were just, how do I say this? You were descending slowly, like a soft descent. Like you were just going slow. It wasn't a fall. It was like a protective, I'm lowering you down, so just relax. Anyways, as I'm going down, I look down and there's fire. It was blazing fire. And from the third person perspective, right, there is no origin to the fire. It's just there. And so in my mind, I'm like, oh, I can't move. I can't do nothing. And at this point in the vision, I felt fear, like an intense fear that, like, if I was like, I was crashing out on myself by saying, I might die. And what I remember was that, like, the reason why I said that is because I couldn't move. I was helpless. I was basically at the will, or I was accepting what was happening. I couldn't control it, no matter how hard I tried or try to, combat the container or whatever it was that was holding me. And I was descending like this, okay, and I have to accept that I'm gonna get burnt alive because, like, I can't wake up for some reason. By then I know I'm in some kind of vision or dream, okay, but I don't become lucid, all right. It's more of like in the dream, my mind was trying to figure out what to do in this inevitable situation. And my body kind of surrendered to, like, oh, I don't know I'm obviously going to die because the fire is going to burn me alive. Anyway, so in my mind, in the vision, I'm like, all right, this is going to happen. And it's going to hurt. And I can't really do nothing about it. So what does this mean? I'm afraid. Yes, I'm afraid. Because what's going to happen is a permanent thing. I'll be nothing after that. So as I'm descending, now the flame is touching me, and it's hurting, it's burning me. And I'm like, all right, it kind of accepting that I'm getting burnt. I'm still thinking logically to myself, despite the pain. And I was thinking to myself, maybe I deserve this. Maybe I've done too many bad things, or why am I being burnt alive? Like, what did I do? And basically, as the fire came up, and finally when it got to my shoulders, I got upset. And I was like, fine, if that's my fate, if that's what's gonna happen to me, for me to be, I don't know what I was thinking. It wasn't for me to be, but that's what I was thinking after I accepted it, which was, I'm not gonna be shy no more if I'm being burnt alive. I'm not gonna be afraid, because either way it's gonna happen. I never wanted to be that. I just thought I had to be that to be accepted in society, right? And as I accepted the flames, there was like a cooling effect of the flames. It was burning and then slowly transitioning to like a cooling effect, like the flame turned cold, and it was now healing the burns. But before all of that happened, I was angry. Like, I was like accepting, like, you know what it was like? I don't know if you guys know Dragon Ball Z, where Vegeta has a vision of him. No, it wasn't Vegeta. Yeah, it was Vegeta. Yeah, where he's trying so hard, destroying the asteroids to keep his ship alive. His ship representing his life, because if he loses that ship, he's basically dead. But that's what the concept of that vision was for me too, where, like, I wasn't attacking these asteroids though. I was being burnt alive, and I was accepting that was happening. But I also didn't want to go in sheepishly, like, to just surrender completely. By that point I was like, all right, it's already happening. I might as well just fight until I can't fight no more, or even beyond that, because that's the only thing I can do. I can't do nothing else. And that's what helped me change that. And it was intense. It was like a real, like, in the vision, it felt like I was doing that for years. And I mean, fighting it, because I'm like, no, I'm not going to be that no more. I'm choosing to be strong. I'm choosing to fight, and I'm choosing to be a physical and symbolic representation of strength. And then it started to cool. It started to cool. It started to feel soothing, and I felt stronger. Like that happened. That I didn't allow it to kill me, because I think if I had surrendered during the flame at its highest point, it would have killed me spiritually. But because I lived, I gave myself a new purpose. And how do I explain this? And it invited the strength that I wanted. And what else do I remember about that? Yes, then I started rising up from the fire slowly. The same way I was descending, now I'm ascending at that pace too. And I feel stronger as it rises higher and higher. I feel like a surge of energy coming from now the space background becomes an element in the vision, meaning like now it's channeling stars and light and all that from the outside through the vision and onto me. And it was still going up, and it was still going up, and again it was still doing that while it was making me stronger. And the vision ended there. Yeah, it ended there. I don't really remember what happened after. But I woke up. I felt strong spiritually. Like even though that what led to that was that I was exhausted from the day, and I just went home. Nobody's home, and I just lied in bed, and I wasn't completely. How do I say? You know when you're tired, but you have other stuff to do, so you don't really want to nap because you're gonna be groggy and it's gonna probably slow you down. And then there's the kind of rest where your eyes are closed, you're relaxing your body, but you're completely aware of sound because you might hear your alarm or something, because you know you don't want to go into deep sleep. And why did I say that? Oh yeah, again, I woke up and I felt like I had slept for days. So I got up and immediately moved on with my day. And I think it was only like 15 minutes. But it felt like forever. It felt like I lived there for at least 100 years in that state of falling. Yeah. Anyways, but that was the first vision. I think all in all, I'm still getting them, or dreams. That's the first vision, the only vision so far. There are other visions I'll talk about too. But so after that happened, certain things started changing almost immediately in my life. And I'm talking, there's a big time gap between the vision and the dream. And it was, I think, like a year or some like maybe like 3 months, a year and 4 months where I had the dream. But there was a lot of things that happened there that kind of forced my personality to choose the one that had been created in the vision. And it was still like going in the fire every time. Like time slows down. I'm choosing to go into what the fire is, or whatever the darkness, or I'll just call it fire because it's fire for me. You have to go through the fire to get to the other side. And the other side is, okay, I'm gonna stop right there. I don't want it symbolisms, because I know that when I was younger, symbolisms were very difficult to understand. But this is what happened. I would be in a situation, social situation, where a person says something and I don't understand if they're saying something, how do I say? No, maybe I shouldn't describe it like that. Yeah, it's something that pushes your personality to be the opposite of what you are. And that's a conscious effort because that's why it's considered going through fire. Because now you're going to uncharted territories and every step of the way might burn you. I mean, is burning